said April Fool since 2022.
Why is that?
When inflation was 54%. I think that year I didn't see one prank, not one joke. No, nothing was funny. And to be honest, since then, April Fool has been relegated to the back.
What April Fool story do you remember? Has somebody done you some? Have you done somebody something?
I can't remember. Also, when you get into adulthood, you realize life is not a joke.
When you were a child, you're not doing April Fool.
Oh, as for that one, dear, you try your best. April Fool. But also in the Ghanaian household, you don't April Fool by heart. Before the joke has landed, your mother has given it to you hot.
I did my grandmother's song.
What did you do to her?
So where she was living and where we were living, it was far.
Okay.
It was quite a distance, maybe like from maybe 37 to like TV3.
Oh, it's not too far, but you have to you walk.
37 TV3 is like car far in India.
Okay,
that's why okay. We are walking is
a distance.
Yeah. This is like an over 60-year-old woman. I called her one when I was speaking for her.
In the name of April Fool.
In the name of April Fool.
I hope you were beaten.
Oh no, I was not beaten. She came and then we had a nice family time. But she was not looking for her when she came.
You just summoned your grandmother just like that.
Yeah, she should come here.
You're not serious. Somebody will do it to you as well.
April Fool stories. But there's a more pressing thing we need to talk about, Helen. We're talking about road safety. You know that we're still in the festive period, Anissa. The Muslim brothers and sisters are still celebrating, Eid al-Fitr.
That's right.
After the fast. The president had some words of caution for them, and Christians will be ending Lent and will be getting into Easter also very soon. So the entire period is a period of festivities, a period of enjoyment. There's the need to be cautious on our roads. Let's take a listen to what the president said to our Muslim brothers and sisters. Then the National Road Safety Authority, they also cautioned our brothers on the celebrations of Eid al-Fitr. And as we're getting into Easter in the next couple of weeks, there'll be the need for this caution. But first is President John Dramani Mahama.
The celebration of Eid al-Fitr is one that should be done with peace and dignity. Unfortunately, in the past, reckless riding, reckless driving has led to unfortunate loss of life. And I want to say, no one must die in the celebration of Eid. No one must die at the end of the celebration of the holy month of Ramadan. And so I'm going to caution our young people who drive their cars recklessly and ride their motorbikes recklessly. I've asked the police to look out for you. And if you ride recklessly or drive recklessly, we'll arrest you. My brothers and sisters, let us work together, guided by the principles of faith, justice, and compassion, to create a brighter future for ourselves and future generations. May Allah bless our nation and guide us on the path of peace and prosperity. And on this day, I want to take the opportunity once again to call on our brothers.
President John Dramani Mahama there, but also the National Road Safety Authority. They released a statement cautioning celebrants ahead of the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Portions of the statement say that the festive season is often characterized by increased movement and activity on our roads, leading to increased risk of traffic crashes. If safety measures are overlooked, the authority urges all road users to take frontline responsibility for their safety and that of others on the road to ensure safe and incident-free celebrations. We urge all drivers and motorcyclists to refrain from overloading, overspeeding, and engaging in dangerous driving and reckless riding. Pedestrians are advised to avoid jaywalking and use designated crossing points such as zebra crossings and pedestrian footbridges. I like this advice, Helen, that we should take our safety very, very serious. I mean, the festive season, it is characterized by increased movement and activities. The authority urges all road users to take frontline responsibility for their safety.
Very important. especially as we know year on year, at least since about 2020, as far as road traffic accidents are concerned, we still have motorcycles contributing over 40% of that. So that's another area to keep a keen eye on, especially with this new government being keen on legalizing the use of Okada, and that's using motorcycles as taxis.
Right.
That hopefully with their formalization, regularization, that might help actually to reduce those numbers as far as the crashes are concerned.
Well, that is if it happens. Anyways, let's speak to Abraham Amaliba. He is the Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority. Council, good morning to you. How are you, sir?
Good morning to you and to your listeners.
How have your holiday celebrations been?
Let me say good morning to your co-host as well.
Helen, Council is greeting you.
Good morning.
Okay. All right. What was your question?
I'm asking how have you celebrated the holidays?
Well, not being a Muslim, I just take it easy, cool, and I'm home.
I see. Anyways, we're in the festive season. The first is for our Muslim brothers and sisters. For Christians, they'll be celebrating Easter shortly. And road compliance and, road incidents during festivities, they keep increasing. What do we need to do?
If you notice, before the celebration, we had issued a press statement, and I sent it to your producer, indicating that celebrants must be circumspect in the way they celebrate. And so our statement came even before the president made the similar call at the prayer grounds. We have what is called the Easter campaign. Every year we do that program where we have prominent people in society delivering messages to would-be travelers. And during Easter, people travel along the length and breadth of this country. So we intend to have the Gamma Chair give us a statement. The president, we're looking for another person who is a clergy. So there are programs lined up, and we'll be in Co. That is where the activity is being conducted during the Easter break. And so we are not resting on our oars.
I see. If you look at the trend, the road incidents or the road crashes that we see during festivities, they keep increasing. From what you said, what may be accounting for these factors?
The need to make more money, the need to go fast to your destination and come back and pick another set of people. And so there's so much speed. Then you also have alcohol-related, accidents. The fact also is that because there are so many people on the roads, definitely you have, with the combined effect of the two I've mentioned, you have fatalities or you have accidents. But what is the solution? And that's what I want to focus on. The solution is to test drivers, and we have started that program as well. Before they sit behind the steering wheel, you have to test them for alcohol-related offenses. And that is done at the terminals. Then also, I have a program. The law allows us to insist that drivers install, or owners of vehicles, passenger vehicles, install what is called speed governance, or what you will call speed limiters in their vehicles. And in the coming days, I'm going to activate that law. When we do some of these things, I'm sure the spate of accidents will reduce.
Right, Council. Let's rope in the element of motor riders. I mean, or Okada riders, because we'll be getting into the festive seasons. There'll be lots of traffic in town, and people would want to use their services to beat the traffic. Now, there's a conversation too about regularizing their activities. For the National Road Safety Authority, what role will you play in the general conversation about Okada riders and regularizing their work?
We are a key stakeholder when it comes to the regularization because our authority is the regulatory authority. GVLA, in order that you don't get confused, GVLA is a licensing authority, so get the two straight. So we are the ones who kickstart the process. For instance, we, after the law has been passed to make it legal, it is our duty to ensure that the motor riders adhere to road safety protocols. So they will be in reflectors, they will have helmets, they would also be trained or given sensitization in road safety. Then the DVL will also do its part. We also intend to put some speed governance in the motorbikes to limit their speeds. We also want to ensure that we do this thing in terms of IT, so that when an Okada picks you, we can monitor its movement from a central point. So we are an integral part in this legalization of Okada. Now, because it is illegal, state institutions cannot engage them to say, look, you need to obey road traffic rules. You need to have some training. You can't do that with them because you will be engaging an illegal group. But when they become legal, then institutions like ours will be able to engage them. At that point, you will begin to see reduction in motor crashes.
So we're still talking about riders. Let's bring in the food delivery riders, people who are not necessarily picking other riders, pillion riders. Now, for they too, in the conversation of road safety, they also need to beat time. They also need to arrive early because they have goods to deliver to people, and all of that. They are also sometimes caught up in the web of, road traffic breaches, running red lights, not riding with helmets and all of that. Also some forms of reckless riding and all of that. What is the approach to rope them into the conversation as well, beyond, the regular Okada?
When the law is passed to regularize Okada, it is going to affect food delivery Okadas, then pillion riders Okadas, and tricycles. You remember we have this, not Abu Boya, but this yellow, they call them Mama Kandu. In some parts of the country, it's not Okada, which is prominent there. It is this yellow.
Right.
So they are all going to come under that law, and they will be regulated. When we went to Rwanda to study their on a study tour, we realized that when traffic is red, the traffic light is red, all of them stop. You don't have a situation where they jump traffic. And in Rwanda, the laws are applied strictly. So now that we are about to even amend the law, the police MTTD is part of the process, and they are also inputting into the law provisions that can help them to enforce the law. And I've told some of the Okada riders, when I met some of them, that the legalization comes with responsibility. And it is for them to also know that when it is regularized, then they will also have to obey traffic regulations, else they will be arrested.
Director, let me ask you about pedestrians as well. You know, we also are a huge number. We constitute a huge number of people who use the road. But when it comes to road markings available for us and drivers or other road users respecting us on the road, it's a little dicey. Seems we're not, respected enough when it comes to the conversations about the road.
Okay, so let me take this opportunity to educate your listeners. When it comes to road markings in cities and regional capitals, the responsibility falls on urban roads. When it comes to road markings on highways, it is the responsibility of highways authority. When it comes to road markings in districts, it is the responsibility of feeder roads. Then street lightening is the responsibility of district assemblies. So we, as an authority, are like regulators. We are not like, we are regulators, yeah. Now, as a regulator, we look out for areas or instances where these institutions I've mentioned have failed to perform their responsibilities. As we speak, there's a situation at Brimso River on the way to Kumasi. The side railings are all broken. It is bare. Cars easily fall into the river. I've spoken to the Highways Authority. I've not seen any action. I've issued compliance notice. After a number of days, I think it was stated in the letter, the compliance notice, if we don't see any action, I will sue them in court. So don't be surprised to see two state institutions battling it out in court. I believe that as a lawyer, you only use the law to ensure compliance.
I see. So is this something that, Council, is this something that is on the books that you intend to really carry out?
These things have been there. We are a sleeping giant. Road Safety Authority is a sleeping giant. But with my nature, I will resurrect that sleeping giant to do his work.
I see. Now, in our quest to make our roads safe, there's the element of technology that will be employed or deployed to help us do that. For the National Road Safety Authority, are you, gravitating towards that? How is it going for you?
Technology in what sense?
In, detecting drivers who are overspeeding. I'm talking about speed cameras, in testing.
Oh, yes. So we have what is called traffic tech, which is coming up. And it is already being rolled out. You remember the police did a test run where people overspeed and also jump traffic lights were given some text messages on their phones. It was test run, and people were talking about it. That is the one I'm talking about. There will be speed cameras on our roads. Some will be mounted on vehicles, and this time it is not a policeman who will stop you. What will happen is that once you jump the traffic light or you overspeed, you'll see an alert on your phone to pay. You pay by Momo. If you fail to pay, each day you fail to pay, the amount increases. So we are doing this together with the MTTD and then the GVLA. And this will come into being when the law that we are amending is approved by Parliament.
Council, thank you so much for your time with us in the program. We're speaking with the Acting Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Abraham Amaliba there.
Consider me, na ye be hwe ya no fo papa